Level 1. Hush, Thomas Elliot. Hush is one of the most dangerous villains who knows Bruce Wayne's identity because his obsession runs deeper than revenge. It is rooted in a lifelong desire to replace Bruce entirely. Thomas Elliot grew up envying Bruce's privileged life, believing that he was destined to outperform him intellectually, socially, and economically. But when his plan to inherit his family's wealth is disrupted by Bruce's father saving his mother's life, Elliot's envy hardens into hatred. Years later, he studies Bruce intensely, dissecting his psychology, his public persona, and every emotional weakness that could be exploited. When he discovers Bruce is Batman, it becomes the final piece in his personal vendetta. To Hush, Bruce Wayne's identity isn't merely a secret. It's a blueprint of what he must destroy to prove his superiority. He targets Bruce's allies, manipulates rogues like the Joker and Riddler, and crafts elaborate psychological traps designed not just to kill Batman, but to break Bruce Wayne's sense of self. Hush's genius lies in his long-term planning. He anticipates Batman's moves, mimics Bruce's appearance, and weaponizes his intimate knowledge of Wayne family history. His threat doesn't come from physical combat. It comes from strategy and obsession, making him one of the most dangerous individuals to know the truth. Level 2. Ra's al Ghul, leader of the League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul is second on this list because he not only knows Batman's identity, he respects it, and that makes him uniquely dangerous. As the centuries-old leader of the League of Assassins, Ra's sees Bruce Wayne as the perfect heir to his global mission of environmental purification and authoritarian balance. When Ra's discovers that Bruce and Batman are the same person, it confirms his belief that Batman represents humanity's highest potential. But this revelation also gives Ra's enormous leverage. Ra's has access to global resources, assassins, espionage networks, and Lazarus pits that can resurrect or corrupt. He uses Batman's identity not to expose him, but to manipulate him. Ra's can target Wayne Enterprises, threaten social structures around Bruce's life, or weaponize Talia's connection to Bruce to force him into alliances. Raz's long view of history allows him to attack Bruce Wayne economically, politically, and psychologically across decades. Knowing Batman's identity lets Raz wage a war that isn't fought in alleys. It's fought across continents. And because Raz and Batman share mutual respect, their conflict becomes even more unpredictable. Bruce knows that if Raz ever fully turns against him, his dual identity offers no protection whatsoever. Level 3. Bane, the man who broke the bat. Bane's discovery of Batman's identity elevates him from a physical threat to a total existential threat. Bane begins as a strategist before a fighter, a man shaped by survival, addiction, and an obsession with conquering fear. By deducing Batman's identity through pattern recognition, understanding of crime networks, and psychological profiling, Bane proves he can match Bruce's intellect long before they ever fought. Once he learns Bruce is Batman, he shifts his strategy entirely. Bane attacks Bruce Wayne's life just as brutally as he attacks Batman. He weakens Gotham by releasing criminals, destabilizing institutions, and exhausting Batman physically and mentally. Then he breaks into Wayne Manor, proving that nowhere is safe, not even Bruce's home. Breaking Batman's back was only part of the plan. The real goal was to break Bruce Wayne's sense of security and dominance over Gotham. Bane understands that knowing Batman's identity grants control over both personas, and he uses this knowledge to strike at Alfred, Wayne Enterprises, and Gotham's fragile trust in its protector. Bane represents the perfect storm: physical power, tactical brilliance, and a relentless will to dominate. Knowing the identity doesn't just help him win, it lets him dismantle Batman at the source. Level 4. The Court of Owls, the hidden rulers of Gotham. The Court of Owls is a multi-generational conspiracy embedded in Gotham's infrastructure long before the Waynes existed. When the court uncovers Batman's true identity, the revelation becomes a weapon far more devastating than any assassin they control. Unlike individual villains, the court's power lies in its anonymity, political influence, and ability to manipulate Gotham's elite families. To them, Bruce Wayne is not just Batman. He's a direct threat to centuries of shadow governance. Knowing his identity allows them to strike at both Bruce and Batman without distinguishing between the two. The court can infiltrate Wayne Enterprises, sabotage investments, manipulate city planning, bribe officials, and deploy Talons to attack Bruce in his home or his boardroom. Their influence extends across multiple eras, giving them resources and information that even Batman struggles to track. When they learn who he is, they don't try to expose him. They try to erase him from history, rewriting Gotham in their image. Their power operates quietly, which makes them even more dangerous. While other villains try to break Batman physically, the Court of Owls seeks to replace the world Bruce Wayne believes he's protecting. With his identity known, they can attack both man and myth simultaneously, wearing down Gotham's foundations until even Batman cannot tell who the real enemy is. Level 5. Bane-controlled Psycho Pirate. Emotion manipulation with identity awareness. During the era where Bane takes control of Psycho Pirate, Batman's identity becomes a vulnerability on a scale rarely seen. Psycho Pirate's emotional manipulation powers allow him to influence entire populations, drive individuals insane, or collapse mental barriers with a single command. When directed by Bane, who already knows Bruce's identity, Psycho Pirate becomes a psychological weapon aimed directly at Batman's mind. Knowing Bruce is Batman allows Bane and Psycho Pirate to target Alfred, the Bat family, and Gotham's citizens in ways that hit emotional pressure points no ordinary villain could exploit. Psycho Pirate can break Bruce psychologically, amplify his guilt, intensify trauma, or twist his emotions into paralysis. Bane uses this partnership to crush Bruce's mental resilience, proving that physical strength isn't the only way to defeat him. With Batman's identity known, every fear, every memory, and every loss becomes a target. This combination becomes one of the most dangerous identity exposures ever seen because it weaponizes Batman's greatest vulnerabilities: his compassion, his trauma, and his internal discipline. Psycho Pirate alone is powerful, but Psycho Pirate guided by a villain who knows exactly who Batman is becomes catastrophic. Level 6. The Joker. The Joker has known Batman's identity for years, but refuses to acknowledge it, because doing so would ruin the game. His understanding is not logical, it is intuitive, instinctive, and rooted in psychological obsession. Joker isn't dangerous because he knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. He's dangerous because he knows exactly what it means. He knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman because Batman needs to be Batman, and that knowledge becomes one of the greatest threats to Bruce's dual life. The Joker can strike at Wayne Enterprises, Alfred, or the Bat family whenever he chooses, but he rarely does so directly because identity attacks are too easy. In Joker's mind, killing Bruce Wayne makes Batman disappear, and Joker doesn't want Batman to disappear. Instead, he uses the knowledge to push Bruce deeper into madness, forcing him into moral traps that break his soul without breaking his mask. Joker's restraint is not mercy, it's psychological imprisonment. What makes Joker's knowledge terrifying is unpredictability. He knows, denies knowing, acknowledges it subconsciously, rejects it deliberately, and uses it symbolically. At any moment, he could shatter Bruce's life with a word. But withholding the truth is the knife he keeps twisting, because it hurts Batman more. Level 7. Bane's Secret Coalition, when multiple villains know Bruce Wayne is Batman. There is no threat more dangerous to Bruce Wayne than multiple villains sharing his identity at the same time. When Bane orchestrates a coalition of villains, each aware of Batman's true identity and each holding their own agenda, the danger multiplies exponentially. This is not one villain acting alone, but a coordinated effort that transforms Bruce's greatest secret into a strategic weapon. When the identity leaks into the wrong networks, Gotham's criminal hierarchy begins designing attacks around Bruce Wayne's life instead of Batman's mission. Corporate sabotage, political destruction, targeted assaults on the Bat family, emotional warfare, and public manipulation all converge into a single unified strike. Each villain uses Bruce's identity differently. Some target his wealth, others his reputation, others his emotional support structure, and others go after Gotham itself. Batman is used to fighting physically, but fighting multiple strategic identity attacks at once threatens to dismantle his life from every angle. This level demonstrates why the exposure of Batman's identity is one of the most catastrophic scenarios in DC. It creates a world where Bruce Wayne and Batman can no longer be separated, where every civilian ally becomes a target, and where the concept of Batman collapses under coordinated assault. The reason this coalition is the most dangerous is simple. A secret can be protected from one villain but not from all of them working together. Across these 7 levels, each villain who knows Batman's identity represents a different form of threat, not just to Bruce Wayne, but to the stability of Gotham itself. Whether it's psychological warfare, targeted manipulation, strategic exposure, or complete assaults on every aspect of Bruce's personal and heroic life, these enemies weaponize knowledge in ways that surpass physical danger. What they prove is that Batman's greatest vulnerability has never been his mortality or lack of powers. It's the thin barrier between who he is in the shadows and the man he is in the world. Once that barrier is breached, every ally, every mission, and every effort to protect Gotham becomes a potential point of collapse. If you want more in-depth, accurate, and carefully structured breakdowns of the most powerful characters, hidden threats, and deeper lore across DC and Marvel, make sure to subscribe to Explained Comics. And comment below, which villain who knows Batman's identity do you think poses the greatest overall danger, and why? The strongest responses will be featured in an upcoming video.